a savior in a time of need. Woman, woman.
You're welcome to the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, and this is She-Wolf, who comes to you, of course, to give you that inspiration and motivation that you need as a woman. Every woman has their story, every woman has their dreams. But how do these dreams come true? This is where we give it to you. We tell you their stories and how they have become women of impact in the society. And on the show today, we have a fantastic woman who will be taking us into our world and to inspire and to motivate you. We also have a vox pop with a very interesting topic, taking into the streets and asking people what they feel about this interesting topic. So, anyway, this is She Wolf, and you're watching the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, and I am Adetoke on my name. So we're now going down into the conversation as we bring in our guests. She brought us into our world, and we are going to share when I say short searchlight on our life to inspire and motivate you. She is an African destination wedding planner, and she is an expert when it comes to the event world in Nigeria. She is Mimi Adam. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me at Care.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for just allowing us come into your space today. However, let me start with this first question. How did you land into the event world? Why not banking? Why not communication? Why not being a doctor? What happened? Tell us a story.
Well, I wasn't certain that I was going to be an event planner. I didn't even know that there was a craft that was called event or wedding planning. I was actually helping a friend that's about 10 years ago to plan her wedding, and then they gave me the tagline wedding planner. So I researched about it, I went on trainings, and 10 years later, here we are.
Tell us about that experience. When your friend told you that you're going to be that event planner, what are those things she saw that she felt, okay, you're going to be the event planner?
Well, she just saw that I was willing and available to assist her in the running around. So things that had to do with the wedding planning and even the marriage generally, like helping them source for things that they need in the house, then reaching out to vendors, following up with vendors. So I was just helping. So I will help her with weekly to-do lists. I will share with her, and then I'll check in on her at the end of the week. And then after that, they started delegating tasks to me, to be in charge of the Ashrebi ladies, to be in charge of the caterer. And on the event day, the contact person was Muni, because it's Muni that been planning all along.
Yes. So obviously that it was all about Muni here and there.
Absolutely.
But at that point in time, what actually, aside that, what triggered and you said that I'm going to make this a business for me?
Okay, so after that event, I felt I did rubbish. But everybody kept saying thank you, because I was overwhelmed. I was everywhere, at the hotel, at the church, at the venue. I was everywhere with Ashwebi. So I was doing so many things at once, and I felt I didn't do it excellently well. But I got feedback that people had fun, they had a good time, and I'm like, what exactly did I do? And so some people said, have you heard about anything called wedding planning or event planning? I think you should be a wedding planner. By the way, at the time I was working in a telecommunication company, so it's not like I was looking for money. Right, and so after that, I just did some research. I saw some people that had been doing that in Nigeria. One of the people that I really admire most, Funke Pokno Britain. I'm like, she's been making money out of this. Oh, really? So I can monetize this skill. So voila, and here we are.
Was there any kind of basic training aside the fact that you could do all these things?
Oh, absolutely, yes. So I trained at Diadem Events Academy, or Diamond Event. I can't remember the name. She's no more in the business. It's been a while, right? Then after that, I went for internship with BCB Events in Lagos, Nigeria, then KFA Rentals, and I attended different trainings that have to do with events. So whenever I hear anything event training, you always find me there. Whether it is paid, whether it is voluntary, whether it's as an intern, I will always be there because I just wanted to own that craft, right? I knew that there was a business side to it. I knew that there was a way it could be done better rather than just waking up to say, oh, I'm a wedding planner. Yeah. So actually, I've been trained even up till this year. I've still been to Ghana earlier this year just to own my craft to do better. So it keeps getting better.
As much as you said, okay, it started with a friend having to plan our own wedding. Growing up, did you ever have this flair for party planning?
Actually, no.
So how, people want to know that, did she just wake up and say she wants to become a planner, even with her friends planning?
No, I didn't just wake
So,
up.
so growing up, how was it like for you that kind of marked and created this woman that you are?
Okay, so growing up, I'm a first child. So by virtue of that, you already know that hospitality has to be a thing for us. I mean, if you're a typical Nigerian or African lady, you already know that you have to be
Yeah.
hospitable by fire, by
Yeah.
force, right? So yes, growing up, just being hospitable. Then also, I'm a Christian by virtue of religion. So it be in charge of their cake, be in charge of taking care of people. Then I remember seemingly tiny details, and so people always entrusted me with information. I'll just connect the dots together. So yes, that was how it was growing up to university and all of that. But I didn't picture myself in the party space because again, I like to say I'm an introverted extrovert. So I like being in my space, but if it's work, I'm outside. So growing up as an introverted extrovert kind of shaped the line of being in the events planning business. But it wasn't just automatic that, oh, I'm going to be an event planner.
Because you know we
Like,
have so many people that just jump into businesses because okay, it's a thing. Can we now say that being having a knowledge of economics, can we now say it must have molded you and your business to an extent?
I want to University of Ibadan.
Okay.
So I think one of the things that I don't remember, but I mean the relationships that I built then and just having that exposure and experience helped with confidence, and then I could put that in my business. And most of the clients that we started with knew me from school, right? So it was the trust from school that, oh, we know this babe from UI. I mean, we can entrust that with our events, and then referrals started coming after that. I hope that answers it.
Yeah, you did. Well, and let me now go to destination weddings.
Okay.
With the era of destination weddings in Nigeria, what can you say actually brings our Nigerian weddings into the spotlight? What are those things that actually makes us stand out?
Well, I like to argue that
Okay.
well, not because it's the only type of wedding I've experienced, but because we love to party. We love culture. I mean, there are other weddings that we take cues from, like the Lebanese, Ghanaians, and the likes, people in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. But Nigerians, we enjoy parties, anything societal parties, because it's our way of unwinding. So bringing the experience of destination events into Nigeria is like creating a unique experience for people. People never forget how you make them feel. They might forget what you say or how you said it, but if you attend a party and you have a nice ambience, the food tastes great, the ushers warmly welcome you, the music is great, everything is nice, you know, everything is aesthetically pleasing. You remember it better than an event that there's no memory of it. So that's just the idea of bringing destination event experiences from outside the country into our own kind of events.
So what are those challenges you face with destination weddings, especially in Nigeria, especially when clients let me say they have this wedding in their head. But when they put it down in paper, it becomes more than a destination wedding. So what are those challenges you face and how you've been able to overcome them? Because we know that life has its own challenges as well.
So one of the major challenges that is common with planning a destination wedding in Nigeria or having the destination wedding experience in Nigeria is expectations versus reality. Like you said, they find inspirations from Pinterest, social media, other wedding blogs, and then they want it executed. They don't care how much was spent. They assume that, you know, the money is just going to come like that. So when you're trying to face reality with them, it then becomes a challenge. So one of the ways we've been able to mitigate that or overcome that is by educating them and making them understand that this person did their wedding in Paris. This is how they spend money there. Or the weather condition in Paris might not be suitable for what we have in Ibadan. Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, this days an example is you want to do an outdoor joining and you want to use those little Chinese parasols. While it's cute and nice, our own culture does not, and our environment doesn't really support that. You're going to be keeping elderly people waiting in the sun. They will not appreciate it. It doesn't
That's the
align.
end thing now.
How do you convince an African mother that they should stay under the sun for 2
I saw a
hours?
picture and I saw these women, they were tired.
I can imagine.
So, you know, Nigerians can't be stubborn when we want to have our own thing. So, for people who have this notion of having destination weddings, what are the things they need to look out for to ensure that they don't end up disturbing the elderly and even the little ones?
So like I said, educating them is very important and setting expectations right. If they don't have the right expectations, there might be issues. But if they know that, okay, this is what I want, but this is how we can interpret it, then it will help. So also educating, apart from the couple having conversations with their parents, we usually interact with parents as well so that they understand that mommy, daddy, I understand that when you did your wedding 30 years ago, 20 years ago, this was not the end thing. However, this is what we can do. And then we reach a compromise. So for example, instead of putting them under the sun, we could suggest that maybe it is done later in the evening if they're comfortable with it, like an evening event, or maybe very early in the morning before the sun is out, and then the service is done under 1 hour, because our parents are used to joining snake eyes ceremony to be long. Yes. So, or alternatively, we could tell the couple to take their pictures, do their content, which is what they are really after anyway, and then now do it the style that the parents want, just to reach a compromise and just find a balance. So it's about educating them and making them understand, because if they don't understand, they will fight it out, they will argue and argue if they cannot visualize it.
So how have you been able to settle, how will I say, scores within parties when your client has already given you the amount of guests that he or she should be expecting and goes beyond board?
It happens all the time. Welcome to Nigeria. Most of the time. So because there are so many moving parts, for especially weddings, there are so many moving parts, right? The couple wants a certain number of guests because they want it intimate with their friends and people that they are comfortable with. The parents remember the people that they bought their ashrebi, some years ago, who they celebrated with as well. And then they are wondering, no, you cannot 150K for your wedding. It's not possible. So what do? We have conversations with the couple and then with the parents. Another thing that we do is that he who pays the piper, he takes the tune. So if you want a lavish and a big wedding, right, whoever is willing and available to pay for it, no problem. Maybe the couple can decide that, okay, we're going to focus on our outfits, our media, content, and all of that. Parents will say, okay, we'll sort out the venue, we'll sort out the food, we'll sort out the decor. So if you are not able, you should be able to put your money where your mouth is, right? Yeah. So some parents be like, yes, I want a big society wedding and I'll pay for it. While some be like, I'm a retiree, you guys can do you, right? So you then reach a compromise as per number of guests. So maybe it will not be 150 guests, maybe 300 guests, but it won't be as much as 1,000. Yeah.
So having to win the event planner of the year 2024, take us to that time. Tell us how you felt.
Oh, well, I mean, it was a great feeling. It was a long time coming anyway, because we've also been recognized like different by different bodies. But that particular one, I wasn't even expecting it because, like I said, it was a long time coming. So over the years, like the expectations were there. So by the time the expectation for winning that award was no longer there, that's when it came. I'm like, oh, thank you. It's so beautiful to be seen and recognized. But I mean, it was also a big deal in the sense that it helped us know that, okay, yes, people are actually watching and we are doing excellently well. At the same time, we always tell ourselves from time to time that more events build team, you guys are doing great. So even if people clap for us, no wala. If they don't, no problem. But it was actually a good one.
So what actually led you to say, okay, you want to mentor people, you want to train people when it comes to event planning? What actually led to that part?
The fact that I didn't have, at the time, many people willing to share their wealth of knowledge and experience. At the time, it felt like people were just hoarding information. Nobody wanted to know what they know. And I'm like, who is going to guide me? How am I going back from that? It's important that people get to do events the right way, because anybody can wake up and say they're event planner, especially if you're a lady in Nigeria or Africa, because you plan your sister's wedding, your cousin's birthday, your mommy's your mommy's birthday or retirement party. So you just tag yourself an event planner. You should learn how to do it the right way, which is one of the reasons why I also summed up all of that into the training manual that we use, right? You need to start off on the right foot so that you do events the right way and you'll not be disgracing yourself.
Why did you have to say
yes,
that?
now, they have to do well.
Now, the job is demanding.
Yes,
like you said earlier, the first job, having to plan your friend's wedding. So how do you stay motivated? How do you tackle having burnout? How do you stay focused?
That's a very good question. So one of the things that I do is that I ensure that I am productive in my productive times. What do I mean? There are some people that are morning people, afternoon, evening. I'm most productive in the mornings, right? So anything that will require me to tax my brain, use my energy, a vendor is getting under my skin, or the client is not appreciating what we're doing, or something is not just going right, I drink water. because so that I will not say what I'm not supposed to, and then I just demotivate or energize myself.
I like that aspect of taking water
Very
because
important.
I think water has this power. When you drink it, just whatever nerve you have, you just say, okay, I'm cool, I'm okay.
Yeah, great.
So
Yes.
now, with people, we've seen people say, founders have said, working with people can stress you. Nigerians can stress you. So how have you been able to cope working with Nigerians that are very stubborn? Founders have always, leaders have always been saying that problem. So how have you, because you make it sound very easy. You have a team. So tell us, how have you been able to, bring everybody together with their stubbornness?
Well, we are all stubborn in one way or another, right? So one of the things that helps is by sharing the vision with the entire team, making them buy the idea and let them know that it is our thing. It is not just for, we want them to think about the event and then their heart should bless us and they should call us for their event again. So how have we been able to manage it? Being tax oriented and people oriented, well, we need to achieve whatever we want to achieve, achieve the desired results. At the same time, also being empathetic, understanding that we're working with human beings that also have stuff that they're dealing with, right? They could be having a bad day, they could be going through stuff. So we empathize with them. So a typical example, let's say a vendor is supposed to come for a vendor's meeting or deliver, and then the person, for whatever reason, maybe it's not in their custom to be late, right? And then they show up late. It's the fault. I had to take my child to the hospital, and okay, you empathize. So sorry about that. Hope you're going to fix it. Then can we now focus on the job? So when people know that you have their interests at heart, they put their best foot forward. It's not easy actually, because sometimes also you can train or have people in your team, and then they feel like, oh, it's like this thing is lucrative. Let me go and start my own. It's quite sad. Like one of the things that we're dealing with in this generation as per staffing, people don't want to grow. They just want to blow, and it doesn't happen like that. If
They
you
don't
blow
want to
fast,
grow, but
they
they
want
want
to
to
blow
blow.
exactly. So
Okay.
that's just the way we've just been managing it. I mean, staffing is such a big deal in the Nigeria of today, but
We'll be taking you to the Vox Form, and it's a very interesting question. If you could fix one problem in Nigeria, what would it be? And how would you fix it? Good.
Woman, a warrior is a woman. Woman.
Is power. That is the main obstacle we are having now in this country. It's not stable and we are paying for it. We are tired. We need somebody that can intervene so that we
to change something. I work on my leadership skills. That's one of the things I work on. Because if you have a good leader, you'll be able to guide your followers. Share again. Because we have the resources, we have the everything. But I think one of the things we are lacking is the leadership aspect.
What I see in the problem we are facing in Nigeria is that there's no love. No love. Then if there's love, then that love through the love we will get a lot of things that's going to be useful for us in Nigeria that make us to move forward. So it is that love that lost. And if there's love, those who are on top, we know we do the right thing for those who are falling. So I think to me, the love that we mix is the one that's causing all this problem we have in Nigeria.